We've got you covered again for Week 8 action on high school football. The biggest game of the year in the Big Northern Conference is going to happen.
Yeah, two undefeated teams are ready to battle for first place. The Dixon Dukes will take on the Byron Tigers at Everett Stein Stadium in Byron. The Dukes are undefeated at 7-0. They haven't had a close call since Week 2 when they got by Oregon 29-20. Dixon's defense has also posted 3 shutouts, but Byron has looked unbeatable all season long. The Tigers have won all of their games by 40 or more points, and they are on a mission. This will be our game of the week. And some other big Northern Conference teams will be battling for playoff spots Friday night, Scott.
Yeah, North Boone can secure a playoff berth with a win. Stillman Valley and Oregon can become eligible for the playoffs by picking up their 5th wins. Now, the Hawks will be home hosting the Lutheran Crusaders. The 3 and 4 Crusaders have to win this game and their final game next week at Genoa Kingston to get into the playoffs. The Hawks have a 4 and 3 record, so they have a little margin for error, especially with Rockford Christian on the schedule next week. Oregon has not made the playoffs since 2014, 9 years ago. Stillman Valley will get its 5th win and become eligible for the playoffs if it can win at Winnebago Friday. North Boone will likely punch its playoff ticket at home Friday night. The Vikings will host winless Rockford Christian. The other big Northern game is Rock Falls playing at Genoa Kingston. In the NUIC, the big one this week has Dupo playing Forreston.
The Cardinals are undefeated, and they want to keep it that way going into their showdown with Lena Winslow next Friday. Their defense has been very good all season, but the Cardinals haven't seen an offense quite like Dupo's. The Rivermen are averaging 43 points per game, and they want to keep it rolling right into the playoffs. Here are the other games in the NUIC. Lena Winslow will host Galena. West Carroll will play at Eastland Pearl City. Dakota is at Stockton, and that will be a huge game for both teams. The loser of that one will be eliminated from playoff contention, and the winner will even its record at 4 and 4 and still have a shot going into next weekend. Also, Fulton will play a non-conference game at Knoxville. And there will be a bit of a letdown in the NIC 10 this weekend following 2 big games the last 2 weeks, but there's still going to be a good matchup at Belvedere North.
The Blue Thunder will host Harlem. These 2 teams are currently tied for 3rd place with 5 and 2 records. They trail Hononegah and Boylan. Both teams are coming off losses last week. Again, the Blue Thunder and the Huskies are trying to get some momentum going toward the playoffs. Both teams should wind up in the playoffs regardless of the outcome of this game. Also in the NIC 10 Friday, Hononegah can clinch at least a tie for the NIC 10 championship by winning at home against Belvedere. East will play at Freeport, Boylan travels to Guilford, and Auburn and Jefferson will go at it Saturday at noon at Wyeth Stadium. Here are some of the other games around the area this weekend. Rochelle will host Plano, Sycamore will host LaSalle Peru. Ashton Franklin Center plays at Hiawatha. South Beloit travels to Flanagan Cornell, and Orangeville will play at Amboy.
And in our Spotlight segment, I'll sit down with Rockford East senior Javius Catlin. He's currently leading the NIC 10 in rushing, and he's one of the top running backs in NIC 10 history. We'll look back on his great career and some odds he's had to overcome to become one of the best.
Join us for all that and more Friday night on Overtime, live at 11 p.m. on Fox 39.